just did the projector shoot. The model, Shivani, she was amazing, such a trooper. We had my friend Lisa and a friend of hers, Julia, come in. Julia did the hair, so Shivani was like super patient. It took quite a while, and we did this like really extreme teardrop shape to her hair. We originally had a support in it to keep it up, and that wasn't quite working. So I ripped off to the drugstore, grabbed a sewing kit. We ended up attaching thread to it and actually using a broom as like a boom to hold it up. Lisa was shooting photos with me. She's really great. Check out her Instagram. The shoot went pretty good. I was really excited to shoot 120 because I've been loving 120 on the Rollieflex. Shutter jam. My shutter jam, like, I knew it was a matter of time before something screwed up when I was doing one of these shoots, because it's always gone perfect. I've never wrecked a roll of film. I've never had a camera issue with any of my film cameras. But damn, loaded a roll of Portrait 800. Just started binding up. I was like, I must have loaded it wrong. So I was like, you know, forget this roll, opened it up, got rid of it, loaded another roll, got 2 frames in. It just wasn't winding properly. Then it released and it winded way past. Then it started catching again, got a few frames off, and I was like, okay, well, I only managed to get like 5 shots on that roll of 12, so I better shoot another roll. Threw a roll of Cinestill in, 1 frame, shit's frozen. So that was a super bummer. No 120 film. I mean, hey, unless by chance there's a couple good shots. So what I did is I just shot a bunch of 35. I shot a bunch of 35 pushed to 1600. So it's going to be grainy. There may be some gems. Shivani was super positive. She was like, no, this stuff happens. We still had fun. It's bound to happen. Hope we got some good stuff. You know, this is all a learning process. Trial and error, you know, there's bound to be screw-ups. When I was learning how to do a kick flip, I scraped my knees a couple times, and damn, we had some scraped knees tonight, but I hope we got some tricks to show y'all. Check it out. When we're doing the projector stuff, I don't know if like the outfit really matters, so I just got to wear some like basic stuff. I don't know what the vibe's gonna be. Maybe we'll just like shoot it and then figure out at the end what the vibe was. Hoping for the best. His hair is gonna be hectic to keep it up. But they did a great job. We're here to talk about the slides from the shoot with Shivani. You know, got a couple shots on the rollie. They were my favorite shots. of the night. We'll get to those at the end. Some of the 35. We got crazy with the color and the shapes. I like this one for some reason. When I showed all the frames to like some other people, like nobody seemed to vibe with this one, but for some reason this one stood out to me. I think there's almost something circus about it. Cirque du Soleil. I'm a big fan of red, blue, and yellow together. For someone who's done art their whole life, I have like horrible color composition, understanding, and skills. That's why I tend to shoot a lot of black and white. But for some reason, blue, red, and yellow just always stood out for me. I remember going to an art exhibit when I was a kid in Ontario, and like every painting in this exhibit was all blue, red, and yellow, and I remember just like loving it. And that's stuck with me till this day. But yeah, it's got some crazy shapes, some crazy shadows, her little finger shadows going over her eye, touching her lip. I like that. This super red hand in the foreground and a little touchy yellow behind her. This was one of those photos that like I didn't really vibe with too much, but just, you know, friends showing them the slides from the shoot. This is the one that everybody was just like, oh, that's my favorite right there. And I'm like, really? But yeah, I mean, I guess she's got a cool look on her face. I like what's happening to her hand. Some like candy cane striping on her face. These photos, they're weird. It's almost like Bird of Paradise meets Cirque du Soleil. And to this day, I've been looking at these slides for a couple weeks now, and I cannot decide if I love or hate these particular images, the ones with all the colored shapes on them. It's like I look at them and it's like, fuck, that's awesome, but I fucking hate it, you know? Yeah, same thing. It's like a lot of people, when I showed them, this is one of the images that they were like, that's one of my favorites. And, you know, I love and hate it. There's like parts about it I like the way this red highlight is just following her finger. The yellow, how it landed just right in the small of her back, or between her shoulders, not the small of her back. And I like kind of how the hair is out of frame in this, yet you see the shape of the hair in the shadow. So that's kind of interesting little story. Because you're like, what's going on with her hair? Oh, that's what's going on with it. This, I think, was her favorite, Shivani's favorite. And I like it. It's wide, minimalist. The color scheme is very complimentary. I guess a little cinematic looking. The hair really shines in this one. Like the crazy shape we did in the hair really stands out in this one. One thing I'm not a huge fan of is how you get like red and pink in the circle I projected on her. It would have been nice if it was just like all one tone. This one I'm a fan of. At first, like when I saw this pose, when she did this pose, I was like, what are you doing, yoga or Tai Chi or something? Like that's what happened in my head, but no, I love it when I saw it. The hair is isolated in that kind of blue glow and really stands out. And then that's a really interesting, almost like Egyptian shadow and like a delicate like finger dangle. This was my favorite of the 35. I like the shape that's happening with her body. It's almost stacked. Like it's not necessarily the most like aesthetically pleasing shape, but for some reason I just like it. And the hair coming up straight behind, off to the side, you get a profile shadow in the red circle. The red's just catching her hand enough that you can see it. And I like how the red circle projected on her face like perfectly follows her jawline. So it's almost like she's wearing a red mask on like a, you know, dark body. Same thing. This photo, when I was shooting it, I was like, she looks like a superhero. That's so cheesy. And it was one of her favorites. And to be honest, I like it too. Like the eye really stands out in the green. And yeah, it looks like high fashion cover for a kids movie about a female superhero. And the 2 shots we managed to get out of the medium format before my Rollie died. They're my favorite shots, but I just love 120 film. The flatness of the colors in this and the extreme contrast. This one I was a fan of. I love the position. Her arm is following the same angle as her hair. I'd probably say this is my favorite photo though. And it's super basic, super straight up, just a side profile, crazy hair, shadow, red circle projected, red's catching her, you know, on enough of an angle that the background's still blue behind her, lit it up with the gels. Yeah, all in all, just like a really just basic photo that I really like. It's just simple. Wasn't sure how this one was going to work out. When I started having problems with the camera, I'm not going to lie, I got a little, deflated. But I think we got some banger images out of this, and she was really happy. And they're definitely different and interesting. So in my mind, that's a success. I think we did all right.